Very technical.
Greeners.
Good evening.
Hello and good evening. Are we there? Are we out? Are we live?
Is anybody out there?
Is anybody out there? After this whole elf debacle.
I know, how dare they pull out on us like that? Do they not realise that we've got schedules to keep?
I'll be honest, like, the letter they sent was a little bit threatening. I was a bit like, it's Christmas time, calm down. And then when it didn't even come, I was like, okay, fine.
But,
We are.
but they're going to be with us next week, is that right?
I mean, anything could happen, but
yeah, that's a good point.
Interesting week so far. Just checking that's all working on there. Hello, Mark.
Hello.
Yeah, I don't know how well if you can see the chat, Limbs.
Yes, I can see it. Hi, Mark. Our winner, our November prize draw winner of the Patreon. So congratulations. I literally put it all in an envelope today, and I'll be taking it to the post office tomorrow. So that'll be winging its way to. I don't know what the Christmas post is like, whether it'll be delayed or what, but we'll see.
Well, you might get it in time for Valentine's Day. It will work out well. I was hearing something in the news this week about postage, and apparently if you want to send 100 cards, which I don't know who does that anyway, it's cheaper to fly to like Portugal or something and send it from there.
Well, I might send 100 cards just to justify me flying to Portugal.
That makes sense. Let me do that.
I've been really, the last few weeks, I've been really kind of like, I need. I know any travel sponsors watching us want to send us on holiday, we'll vlog the whole lot.
Literally, it could be Woods Coaches. I'm there. Get me on.
As long as you're driving me somewhere warm.
Right. Yeah.
Oh my God.
You won't do that.
Did you see Running with Tom started his trek from John O'Groats, is it, to Land's End?
What's that? Is that like the top to the bottom?
Yeah. So last night they drove up to Scotland, and they swam in Loch Ness.
Do you know what? I did see that video. It was quite an eye. I know.
It's so funny. Yeah, in their little Santa pouches.
There was some full moons in the video. I remember that.
It's the ending though. Did you watch it right till the end?
Is it when he shouts?
Yeah. About something hanging out.
Something's hanging out. Seriously, ladies, out that video. And men, if you're beating your goals, your running goals this year, Tom is also great for that. But more importantly, women, go and check out that page.
Mark says that he's having a lot of echo and the voice is not matching the video. Like lag.
That's not very good, is it?
Oh no. Sorry about that.
Let's see. If I turn mine down. Let me a second. Let me test it this way. I don't know if that'll be any better, or if it's because I've got you rested on something that's causing some echo. Mark, you're my engineer, my audio engineer tester.
How are we doing?
Let me know how it's going. I currently balanced on the arm of my sofa, but I was also using this. I don't know if that was causing a bit of awful sound.
No, we did last time we did it like this. It was it was pretty good, wasn't it? Oh, wicked! That sorted it out.
That was $1.99 and it's actually been very good up until now. But actually, $1.99.
Little foam rest.
It like changes. You can make it as wide or as thin as you want.
They are handy, aren't they?
Until you need to do this. What have I got?
Can I tell you, I had the strangest little teeny snippet of a dream that I remember just before I woke up this morning, but I woke up laughing.
Go ahead. Yes, I want to know.
So it was my mate that we call Skin, and we work with a young man together. So we see each other once a week when we're like crossing over, and he's dropping the youngster off to me, and we're always talking about neurodivergence and neurotypicals and all of those kinds of things. And it sent me a message, and I'd been thinking a lot about the word weirdo, that I've always been called a weirdo, but in like a kind of nice way. And I actually quite like that label,
I know what you mean.
like, because
it doesn't bother
I'd
me.
seen this thing. Well, I'd seen this thing and it said, I'm not weird, I'm limited edition. But I was like, I don't care. I am weird and I'm happy being weird, like, and everybody's a limited edition. So I'd got that on my mind. And then in my dream, Skin had messaged me saying, you might be a weirdo, but I'm a normalo. Like, as in the word normal, but with O on the end, normalo.
I'm a normalo. Where does that fit in the... What does... I don't even... My brain can't compute that. You seem so excited about this term. Explain to me why you're enjoying this term. I feel like I need to...
It just made me laugh so much that he'd called himself a normalo. And I thought, I'm never calling them neurotypicals ever again. They're normalos.
Normalo?
They're normalos.
It reminded me of the Gruffalo.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
It just really made me giggle. Like this thing didn't even happen, but it just made me smile. Like, I'm a normalo.
I'm a normalo. We've got Condom Table in the chat. Hi. Mark says that lagging might be on his side. Hospital Wi-Fi isn't very good. Mark, I'm sorry to hear that you're in the hospital again. I hope this is one of the planned things you had, not a horrible surprise during this time.
No.
Wishing you all the healing vibes.
Yeah, at least
and better Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I feel like I love that you've taken us with you. Like, we are in that hospital with you. You've got us as company for the next hour to fill the void a little bit.
Definitely. It's actually it's reminded me of something that I didn't know if I was going to talk about it or not, because it's a little bit, you know what I'm like. I get into something that none of us have talked about, and then I go describing it for too long, and everyone's kind of lost, and I'm like, and it's just no place in this podcast. But you know what? I've been reminded of being in the hospital, and it does revolt to us because it's someone that's in a very similar position, but way ahead, and it just blew my mind. So there is a YouTuber called Jack Doolittle, and he has an autoimmune disease. He's often in the hospital, and he has a non-profit where he pays for one person's medical bills, or puts £500 once a month into someone's medical bills.
Oh, wow.
And it's a great idea. It's a nice idea. It's fantastic. It's brilliant. But he made this video a few days ago, basically calling out every YouTuber that has basically saying no one donates, no one gives a crap. And it was watching it, I'm like, I get it, right? Because we've been there. We know what it's like to feel like, come on, man, we've tried so hard on this.
Yeah.
And some things just don't come to fruition. And you're like, I've spent so much money here. Like, if anyone is curious, A Different Human Design has not made any money ever.
No.
But when it comes down to it, it takes you a few seconds, right? Or maybe a few minutes if you really work to be like, I'm not the only person in this world. I'm not the only person trying to make a change or do something.
Yeah.
Really, nobody owes me anything, whether you're my friend, family member. It's all appreciated, everyone that does come and join as supporters. But really, no one owes us anything. And this guy went on for about 15 minutes about how everybody owed him everything, and someone put in their private stories, like a group of creators, I earned 50,000 this month through YouTube or whatever. And he messaged to say congratulations, and they were like, oh, thanks, man, like, I really want to do some good with this money. And he said, if you want to do some good with this money, I actually have a non-profit. And this person didn't respond. And he was literally like, I'm going to give names. If they don't pay up, I'm going to give names. It was blowing my mind. And it reminded me of, quite often we see in the ADHD community, autistic community, anyone that's lived with a long-term condition that is not treated as well by society as it is for other conditions or illnesses. You're not taken as seriously. You have to fight for yourself a lot. And some people, I think, don't realise when it's time to stop fighting.
Like, I mean, it's one of them where it's like, well, we can answer, like, hold on, mate. We're giving away free services. We've helped loads of people this last 2 years, like, you know. So actually, you're not the only one that's that's doing it. We are too. Like, come on, call us out. We'll respond.
Oh, I think we need to. I was about to go in the H3 Reddit, just be like, look, I've never asked anyone for a penny in here, but if anyone wants to follow us, it'd be really helpful.
Yeah, really, do it.
Mark saying not planned, medical difficulties after last surgery. I'm so sorry to hear that.
Oh, that is frustrating.
You're both such wonderful people. I wish we could, like, we're in 2024, right? Surely we should be able to zoom through and, I don't know,
just be sat on the end of the hospital bed like, hello, we're here.
Dressed as elves.
And that the next planned surgery is a day after Christmas. Wish it was on Christmas, as it wouldn't be such a difficult day. Instagram is very difficult for me. I deactivated my account temporarily until after the next surgery.
I can imagine. Is it the surgery related things that are getting you down, or is it the Christmas period in general?
I suppose if Christmas doesn't look how, you know, because my granddad's in hospital at the minute as well, so it's like we've had a similar kind of thing where it's like until we know he's okay, Christmas doesn't quite feel the same, does it? He's not excited about it. He's not, I don't know, it just does put that little angle on it. So I can imagine, if you know you've got surgery planned the day after Christmas, you're just not as like able to get
because I imagine
into the spirit.
You can't have Christmas dinner because, or at least you can't gorge like we all like to. It's if you're feeling pain, then that's going to be taking over, isn't it? It's a sucky situation. And I know for many people, even if you're not having surgery, whether it's just you don't have that loved one that you had last year, or that one that you had 10 years ago, and you still miss them. Do you know what I mean? I know my mum always thinks of her mum, and I think she passed away when I was about 4. So grief is a hard thing.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those times of year, I think, where people do reflect on situations and people that they've lost. It's quite like a monumental time as well, isn't it? It's that, you know, we can be a bit time blind, but it's that one time where it's like, oh, last Christmas I did this with this person or whatever. So it can kind of I don't know, kind of throw up some difficult feelings to process, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, you could see it as like, oh, I've achieved all this year, but more regularly, I think we're like, oh God, this time last year, I was a year younger.
Yeah,
maybe it felt like a year, year longer.
I was
on
more
this
hopeful.
Yeah,
this time I was meant to be rich by now.
Oh, don't. Every time I think about that, I think of my naive childhood thoughts of like, I will marry a prince. Why did you tell me princes were there to be married?
Why was I where are they all?
Never met one.
Just going back to the kind of Christmas and it not perhaps looking how you might expect. I shared a video on my TikTok, so those that are watching that follow me on TikTok, you may have seen it, of a house that's really Christmassy, that's local around here. And I've just quickly checked before I've come online, and it started a bit of a kind of, not an argument, well, I hope it's not an argument because I've not had a chance to really look, between one of my other followers saying that those that are photosensitive find houses such as those like really dangerous kind of thing. But then I think somebody else has come back at them saying, oh, I bet you're fun at parties type thing. And I feel like it's two very extreme ends, isn't it? Because actually it got me thinking, well, it's not just that house. If you were photosensitive and triggered into having seizures, this time of year must be a nightmare, because And then it got me thinking, because the original comment about the photosensitivity went up earlier, and I had replied to that one saying, actually, yeah, this time of year must be really hard. And then I was thinking earlier, like, well, what's the solution? Because I'm definitely guilty of absolutely loving lights. Like the thought of banning lights, I was thinking, oh God, I went for a similar thing with fireworks this year. Like, what's the solution? But I thought, well, actually, I suppose with the lights, you could just stop them flashing. You could still put lights up and deck your house up. They just don't need to be flashing.
Yeah. I would extend that to bicycles with flashing lights. What is that about?
Yeah, they're horrible though.
What is that about? It's like in my eye line, just like great.
Yeah, just like do it like a normal headlight. We know what headlights are.
Exactly. I think the thing about with disability inclusion is very rarely do the people that have the condition or disability want others to miss out. Like for me, I don't really like fireworks. Do I want to ban all fireworks for everyone? No, of course I don't, because again, not the only person in the world. But then there's regulations that we can have to try and help people, right? Like warnings, trigger warnings. This may have flashing lights. Understanding that driving around at night, whether it's Christmas or not, you're probably going to see some flashing lights. So understanding that your health condition may not be best for driving at night. If you're traveling with children who are sensitive to it, then some sort of visual wear, something that makes them. I know there are some glasses that turn the lights into a dimmer version, but they all make like a shape. So you can get like reindeers or like little bows, and instead of just seeing the bright lights, it kind of creates like a bit of a. I'll try and find
Just
them and
filters it almost.
I'll link them. Yeah, it makes them a little. Yeah.
Well, this is the thing. I mean, you've just mentioned like the fireworks. I'm the same. I'm not massively keen on them. I think it's that unpredictability of am I going to get smacked in the face by a stick, but also the big bangs I'm not mad keen on. But I'd never really contemplated, this idea of banning them. I know a lot of people, it's the same argument every year, isn't it? But then someone mentioned about the wildlife. And then that was the only time that I thought, actually, yeah, ban them. Like the idea that it was impacting these poor, unsuspecting, innocent, naive, like, wild animals that you can't explain to them. Oh, for the next few weeks, there's going to be, they must be petrified. And that actually did bother me then. I thought, actually, yeah, I could see the back of them under that reason. So, I mean, it comes down to that thing, innit, that we're more empathetic when it comes to animals than we are towards other humans.
It's not like an animal can read our trigger warning or read a sign that says get out of this area for a bit. Like, I think that's where we have that extra duty to children and to animals, where like don't ban them for me, but if it's for the safety of my child, for my pet, then yeah, I'm gonna go 10 toes down. Get this off.
Totally. Your hair looks really nice, by the way.
Thank you. I did it, and I felt like. Did you ever used to watch Recess?
Yeah.
You know the girl in it that's. She's
yeah. I can't remember what her name is though.
I don't know anyone's name in that. I didn't actually have
really
it.
Cool.
I remember it being like a Disney Channel thing, and I never really got to watch it much.
Yeah, no, I like Recess. Mark's saying that he loves the Elves videos, which is very warming to hear because some of them haven't done so well, and it's been very frustrating.
There've been some naughty elves, but the views do kind of fluctuate. So if you go on it, go and give them a few views every day.
Yeah.
Starbucks saw the Starbucks one. I only saw that this morning. I was like, comment.
I know, when they were like, forget Elf on a shelf, it's Elf on a drive-through, and I was like, that's far more catchy or something like that.
I was like, you should have seen our first idea when I was thinking about it. I was like, I don't need to tell them that. I thought they'd originally see it and be like, we're not promoting that.
I thought it was quite I thought it was quite cool that they commented, because that's the thing, and there's so much kind of gatekeeping, and where you think, God, it would take nothing to just hit the share button or whatever it is, and they never do.
Yep. And next week when the elves come, they'll tell you all about the difficulties they've faced trying to carry out this ridiculous project. The kitchen peaks, because there've been some amazing times, so the elves tell me. But
well, even today, one of the students said to me in the kitchen, they were like, "Oh, my mum was on your TikTok last night, showing me your elf videos." And so I was like laughing, like chatting to him about, like, you know, I said I was really hoping that they'd have caught more eyes and like kind of reach. I said the reason we did it was to try and bring promotion towards like the channel and what we're doing and stuff. I said, so, you know, it's been a bit of a shame. But then he went, well, she was sat at the kitchen table laughing her head off, and I thought, oh, like, you know, those that are seeing it are finding them funny, they're finding them amusing. There's been a few comments on Facebook from people saying, oh, these have really made my day and stuff like that. So it comes down to that thing that at the end of the day, we only ever set out to help one person, and we are doing that. So, you know. Yeah, that exactly.
Makes it good.
What have we got there? I love the car ride video.
That one's doing quite well as well. I think that's on like 1,300 something.
Yeah. Do you know what I think that is? Because I wiggle my bum on it. I'm sure, because I was trying to work it out, like, why is that one doing so well? But then on the TikTok and the Facebook, there've been the odd comment about, like, oh, naughty, you know, like really kind of excited. I thought, literally, it's a bum wiggle. It's like, you know, that's what elves do. Yeah. Like, I think the missed high five is hilarious on that.
Do you know when I first watched it, I missed it, and I was like, "Oh, you just put the nice one in." And then it wasn't until I watched it again that I was like, "Oh, it is there."
Yeah, one of each. I love it.
My word, I love the whole arc of trying to get that, the expectations of how it would go compared to how it went. Night and day. So funny.
Yeah, totally. So I went to that Luminate thing at Coombe Abbey last night.
Yeah, I saw the pictures. I bet the pictures didn't do it justice. I can just tell by looking at it. Like, you have to see it, right?
I am doing a little video. I'm going to publish it later. I've pretty much done it. But yeah, oh my God, it was so nice. It was about an hour to an hour and a half walk to walk all the way through the trail, and it was all through like the woodlands and stuff, like all around the grounds of Coombe Abbey. And everything was like lit up in all different ways. But again, I was like, oh, I feel like it should be like this all the time. And then there was two swans wide awake on the river, just like swimming around. And Mum was like, why are they awake at this time? And then I went, it's probably the light. They don't realise it's dark yet. And then she was like,
again, wildlife.
Yeah. She was like, I wonder what the other wildlife thing is. So then it got me doing that whole thing again of like, oh, is this just a selfish human activity? I mean, there's no loud noises or anything, but it did get me thinking, is it disruptive?
I can't think where it is now. For some reason, I think it's in Australia or New Zealand, where there's certain lights and it makes the turtles not go out to sea or something. They like get confused about where the sun is, and it like, I can't quite remember what someone will be listening to this like, you dumb idiot, this is it.
No, well, it happens a lot of places, doesn't it? That the turtles are born on the beach, and their radar in their head is designed to find the light and go towards the light, and that's the full moon, and it's to guide them into the sea.
Cool.
But then because of the light pollution, they turn around and they go the wrong way towards the light pollution. So it's like human activity that's disrupting their patterns. But there is, in a lot of those places, there's like whole groups of humans go down, and they turn them around, or they put them into the sea. So it's like, I think the more the awareness has got around that, the more people do stuff about it. But funnily enough, Mark says something in the chat about turtles. Let me just, there we go. I stopped traffic for turtles and walked them across the street. I stopped traffic for turtles.
You're absolute angel, Mark. That's so sweet.
No, I love that.
I'm waiting to see you in a YouTube video where you're just like,
yeah,
getting across.
It immediately bought the video where, have you seen the ones where a man dressed as a snail and he's like going really slow down the road, and there's a whole trail of cars, and they're all like trying to get around him, and he's just slowly going down the road as a slow.
So good. We need to do something like that.
I know, it's so funny. It's like, it's just having the kind of like, I want to say the balls. I can't think of a better way to like word it, what the word is, because it's not courage as such, but you know, to just front it and not be like worried that everybody's like, get out of the way, you idiot. Like the
Just have
aggression.
pure cojones.
Yeah. So
We could dress
Miami
you.
has
Oh, no, carry on.
Miami has a wonderful sea turtle beach. Oh, I sponsored a sea turtle with a GPS chip so I can see where the turtle is, and she's currently in Key West. Oh, I love that.
Oh,
I bought my dad,
good.
stepmom and sisters a bracelet 1 year, like a different one each, and they all had a different animal each, and each of them you could scan it and it would tell you where that animal was, like
Oh,
like tracker bracelets type thing. So the cost of the bracelet then supported the health of the animal.
oh, that's really cute. I
It's
like the
cool, isn't
idea
it?
because you can like adopt penguins and stuff like that, but it doesn't seem
Yeah.
that like you get a picture and you're like, cool. Being able to like scan something or like
Yeah.
technology, you're like, that's my turtle.
And actually see where it is. That's the thing, it's like technology is scary, but it is also amazing, some of the stuff that we can do now.
Yeah. It's crazy the stuff that you can actually purchase, you know, like a star. You can like name stars or like you
A
can
bit of the moon.
become a lord or lady just by purchasing a square foot bit of land in
Yeah.
Scotland. But
And
like
a bit of the moon, and if in that moon they mine diamonds, then they're yours.
I'll dig. I'll find that square meter and I'll just dig down. There's got to be something.
I know.
Yeah, I got a bracelet too for a manatee. I love manatees. They're so sweet.
They are sweet, really sweet.
She's in a South Carolina river. Do you know what? I did not know manatees were in rivers.
I
Like,
love
I don't know. Sea cow. I just assumed sea. That's insane.
maybe they're those big massive rivers that feed the sea. Because what didn't they end up dolphins in the Thames recently or something? The summit swam up the Thames, didn't it? That shouldn't have been there.
I think there's been a whale, there's been
Was it a
dolphins, there's
whale?
been a fair few things that really should not be there, including like weapons and just
Yeah, not so fun or cute things.
not quite.
Hello, got new people in the chat. Hi there, welcome.
Humanish is that's how I'm reading it anyway. That's what it should be called. Welcome.
We're taking a break from a different studio to keep it nice and cozy in our retrospective houses.
We got our jammies on. We're staying warm. That's how it's going. But I feel like it's fitting, right? Because we represent knowing when the party has ended, when it's time to go home, and you should just be at home, staying warm, not causing havoc or embarrassment for yourself. I love the cozy feeling. Me too. It's way better than being out there cold, walking without my heels on because they've hurt my feet for too long, being like, shall I have a kebab? I don't even like kebab.
And it's freezing cold. God, I've so definitely outgrown all of that. I hope we've got Liz in the chat. Oh, she always compliments us, doesn't she? You're so sweet.
Love. You're so pretty. Oh, thank you very much.
Oh, sorry for joining late. Me and Alexi, we're watching a movie together. Oh, that's so sweet. Her YouTube isn't working, so she can't join, but she says say hi and love the new layout. Oh, welcome. And tell Alexi we say hi and send our love if you're messaging. But,
yeah, enjoy the film, girls. No worries.
Yeah, we're literally taking a break from the regular studio and just having a nice chilled one. That's what the new layout for tonight.
That's basically it. Well, we talk about the benefits of doing this instead of going out and getting rat-arsed.
I don't know whether I've outgrown it or whether it's because I'm sober that I've changed my attitude towards it, because the idea...
Can you hear that?
No.
It's just a Harley Davidson or a four
Oh,
Harley
okay.
Davidsons out the side, like Sons of Anarchy. Hey, bro. I can't
No, I
even hear
can't
you.
hear it.
I'm
Oh,
impressed
really?
you can't hear that because I can barely hear you. I'll wait. We'll all wait. Sorry, YouTube.
No, I can't hear it. What are they doing? Revving? Go and check. Oh, Mark, I've never been to a Christmas party. Well, I'll tell you what, mate, you're not missing out on all that much. Quite often, people get drunk and just bore you. I was going to say embarrass themselves, but it's not even like that amusing. I find if there's dinner involved, I'm happy to have my dinner. But the trouble is, people when they're partying, I don't know. I like music, so I like having a dance and whatever. But I hate someone's trying to talk to me and it's loud. I'd rather just sit and listen to the music than maybe keep being like, "What? What did you say?"
Let me dance and listen to the music, or we can go
Yeah,
and talk. Like,
yeah.
keep having to, like, I'm like,
Oh,
it's always during
the
I'm like, I wanted to dance to this bit. You're like,
it's the
yeah.
overstimulation of having to, tune into that and then tune into that, and oh yeah, it just drives me mad.
Yeah, it's weird as well. I don't know if America's the same, but with British people, you can be like, oh, you met Lindsay, yeah, but did you meet the other one? Because British people are generally quite like subdued, a little bit stiff upper lip sort of thing until they have a drink, and that's the other side of them.
Yeah,
And that's a
and there's no
completely
holds
different
barred.
person generally.
Yeah,
And seeing people that you work with like that sounds fun. Like, oh, I can't wait to get drunk with you. I can't wait to, and you don't consider the weird conversations you have, the awkwardness, preferably or like possibly being hit on, not preferably, possibly being hit by someone way up in a position that could get you like just in all types of weird. Being involved in like you got to drop someone's home and they have a fight with their missus and you're just involved in like and you're like, I
yeah,
should
so
just be
much
working
stuff.
with you. That's it.
Yeah,
That's literally it. And I've always found it weird when bosses attend the staff do. Because
yeah.
shouldn't they, right? It's their company. They should be able to celebrate. But I could not trust myself to be like, yeah, I'll get drunk in front of you. And then let me keep my job. I just
I
don't
read
want
a
that.
really don't want the smoke.
Oh, that's
I read a
I
really funny like information thing. It was like if you're not from this country originally and you're going to your work's Christmas do, it's like let me give you a few tips on the British and how they do like Christmas parties. And it said like yes, they will pre-drink, and it was like even though there's going to be booze all night long, they will turn up loaded, like already having had a load of drinks. It was like don't feel like you need to do this. Then it was like please do line your stomach, even though everyone's going to bang on about eating's cheating and all this. Like just line your stomach so that you give yourself half a chance. And then it was like these people are seasoned pint drinkers. Do not try to keep up. But there
pints are
was
a weird one, right? It's the mass,
the
the gas
volume.
and
Yeah,
the mass. But then spirits
honestly.
are just stronger, so it's like, where do you go?
And it's like when I watch people drink now, and I'm watching them just piling it back, thinking even when I drank, I knew that one bottle of wine and one pint. After that, I was in blackout territory where you know I'm not going to be in control of what I'm saying and what I'm doing. I'm going to be beyond that drunk where I've got any control. And when I see people like, yeah, I'll have another, yeah, oh yeah, I'll have a cocktail, yeah, I'll have a shot.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, have you lost your mind? Like, have you not remembered that you've already had 6 other drinks? Because now you're on the
Yeah.
7th and we've still got, 2 hours or whatever. And like I say, even when I was drinking, I had a limit, if you know what I mean. Like, I wasn't always good about hitting that limit, but I'm watching people now thinking, you must be mad. Why are you still drinking? Haven't you had enough?
I know what you mean. It's kind of like I've said it plenty of times on here that I've never been able to like really fully lose myself with drunkenness very often. And each time, like again, I feel sick before I feel too drunk. And that makes me look at other people like, why don't you feel sick? Why don't you feel this way? And it's because I don't drink that often
Yeah.
anyway. But it's still, I can't fathom it. I don't know how you go to that, like, and there's a few parts here, like points that I've made of like how you know when the party's over. And one of them is that loss of control where you just, it was supposed to be one drink and it spiraled. And somehow you're like repeating yourself, going like, you're like in people's faces, like, what?
Yeah.
Like you've lost all social cues.
Yeah.
And we've said, haven't we? At least I realised at the start of this year, dealing with that sober isn't fun. That makes me not want to go out.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just thinking about how we make it all sound really funny, and like there's a lot of, I can't think of the right word, but like a status kind of thing it behind the whole, oh, I was only going out for one, ended up rolling in at 6 a.m. with one shoe, no makeup, and I don't
The
know, you
best
know, like
nights
those.
happened are the ones unplanned.
Yeah, and everyone's like, oh yeah, we all do it, don't we? Oh, that's so amazing. I'm a bit like, I think we need to change what's cool, because what they're not showing, like they're kind of glamorizing that. Like, yeah, it's
Agreed.
hilarious, isn't it? Like, you know, but actually, no one is talking about the accidental sex that somebody had that they didn't want to do, really. That they've risked their health and, you know, made themselves feel like shit or whatever. No one's
Yeah,
talking about the 2 days they've then spent in bed, all the crap that they've ate because they, you know, they're hungover,
yeah,
the the financial stress they've caused themselves because they spent 200 quid. But let's
yeah,
like share a meme about how funny it is and all laugh, because that's the cool thing to do. And if I
yeah.
say, like, you know, oh, actually I like, you know, saving my money, feeling fresh, I'm the one that's doing something wrong. Like, oh yeah, well, you just think you're better than everyone else. Like, I don't know. I just feel
Yeah.
like I want better for me.
I think that's what's more funny for you because you could almost encourage that, oh, I bet you're fun at a party kind of thing. And it's like, no, actually, she still
I
is. I
actually
don't think
am.
you understand. Like, it's not about the alcohol. And if you could just remove that idea of you need that to have a good time, that you need
Yeah.
that to be an acceptable, socially acceptable night. And it must get even harder around Christmas, right? Because it is that like, oh, it's Christmas, I deserve it. And it almost
Yeah.
feeds into that relapse mentality. If you struggle with addiction, that idea of really being able to convince yourself, like, maybe I have done well. Maybe I can have that
Yeah.
drink. Maybe I can just have like, just get one bag of Coke. Do you know what I mean? It's not too much. And it's like the second you're rationalizing the relapse
Yeah. You're in
through like
dangerous
this
territory.
holiday pass, yeah, you need to be catching those thoughts.
Do you know what
Um,
I think a lot of people do though? I think they say, "Oh, well, in the new year, I'll." So they go hell for leather because it's like, well, New Year's a fresh start,
yeah.
and it's kind of like, well, really, if you're serious about it, you ought to stop now, because if you can get through Christmas, you can get through anything, rather than
Yeah.
I'm going to absolutely batter it, blah 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 blah, and then I'm miraculously going to stop in January. It's like, because you're not going to, if you've got that mindset, you're not going to.
Yeah, there's that aspect of like, oh, do you really want to? Are you going to? Does January the 1st really make a difference? And there's also, and again, I guess it goes to one of the reasons why we're doing this episode today is last weekend for me was just full of addiction topic. I wasn't even at work.
Mm.
Unfortunately, a lad next door, not part of Harley Davidson crew, he lost his life, and he was told in October that if he didn't stop drinking, he would not make it to Christmas. And unfortunately, he has not made it to Christmas.
And
And
he was only young, wasn't he? Like seriously young.
I think he's about my age.
Yeah.
Real sad. I'm seriously young. But he was a lovely lad, and I just seeing that family over there, just like it's just
Mm.
gutted, man. Like if you're being like, oh, yeah, I'll just get to January. Like, think about your family, think about your loved ones, think about how much you are worthy of this life, and
Yeah.
don't wait until January. Christmas can be fine without alcohol.
It can be brilliant. It
Have
will
you
be
tried the
brilliant.
food?
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, the amount of nice flavored drinks there are out there now, it's like they actually taste so much
Yeah.
better than alcohol. You know, go and treat yourself to some really like lovely different drinks. I mean, I saw a really like brutal comment because I follow a lot of like AF stuff, and there was this comment that I read where this guy was like, "Well, it's just simple." They were talking about alcoholism, and he was like, "Well, if it's just simple, it's just all down to willpower. If you don't want to
Right. Yeah.
drink, don't drink." And I thought, well, if it
Oh,
was just, yeah, it's like there's willpower that will get you so far, but when it comes to actual addiction, unfortunately, it can be a cycle. It can be that your body's relying on it. It's formed a kind of where you need it. There can be all sorts of things that keep you going back,
it's
even
that
if your
coping
willpower,
mechanism, right? It's
yeah.
that you've dealt with your trauma for so long in this way, you don't know how to address it another way.
The other
Being
thing is,
sober isn't comforting.
yeah, the
I
mind
don't.
as well is a very sticky thing in it, where it's like, oh, you've not got a problem. That, you know, you'll be fine. So then
Mhm.
you think, well, I'm telling myself I'm in control, and it's like, well, no, that's actually your addiction talking, telling you that you're in control.
Exactly. It's that rationalization that, God, we're all guilty of it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, it is a bit cold. I'm not going to go for that run that I said I was going to go for last
yeah.
night. We're all guilty of it. But some cases just need a little more urgency addressing. What's the
Before
chat
we go,
saying?
yeah, say before we
Oh,
go to the chat, just if anyone's on Instagram, find Strizzy Strauss and follow him and watch his just run with it videos. Like, I've been really, really enjoying them, and they're so inspiring. And today he was, well, I'm not sure if it was today's, but I was watching it today, talking about that you're stronger than you think. And he said, you know, since he's been running,
yeah,
he's been running to cope, but the amount of times he just wants to roll over and his mind's like, just, you know, just go back to sleep. It's cold. You can go tomorrow, blah, blah, blah. But he's like, proved to himself that he keeps stepping out of his comfort zone and succeeding. And then that gives him that
yeah.
knowledge to next time say, yeah, but you did that. So now you'll be able to do this. But yeah, really, 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 really good talk. So
I
if you're on
agree.
Insta,
I
check him
saw
out.
one and I was almost in tears. Like,
Yeah,
my
I've
God,
cried at a few of them.
it's just running and talking, and then it's
Yeah,
very
moving.
cathartic. I can
Yeah.
imagine.
But yeah, sorry,
Actually,
I interrupted when you was about to
see what the
check
chat's
out the
saying.
chat.
Mark saying, when I was in the UK and Scotland during Football World Cup, you must have seen a lot of drinking. People were so much better there than drinks in America. Drinks in America, really? To be
Wow.
fair, I've been told about American drinks, and they are just like the food. Your XLs are like ridiculous, and they've got way more alcohol per like. Your measurements are way bigger. I mean, all we have to do is go to Spain, right? And the measurements,
Yeah.
they're not even. It's just they
Yeah,
count
but
to
this is
about
the
10
thing.
seconds. You're like,
The measurements in Spain are bigger, but you don't tend to see the Spanish walking around drunk the way that the English are. So
yeah,
it'd be, you know, I'm intrigued by this, that the America drunks are just as bad, if not worse, because it's kind of like, are both countries guilty of producing this kind of, it's okay to just, it's normal to act like this. I mean, they've got that
yeah,
higher drinking age as well, isn't it? It's 21.
yeah, exactly. But like, as we know, does that really make it any easier? Are we just having more underage drinking taking place? Because it
Yeah,
does seem like kind of like the culture, right? When it comes to football, you're having a beer. When it comes
yeah,
to, I don't know, a barbecue, nice weather in America, or even like if you're really cold, you're in a cold part of America. I know they drink like spirits and stuff when they're
yeah.
to warm them up on the inside.
That's the
Um,
thing, isn't it? It's the cultural aspect. It's the fact that even in advertising, in films, in music,
yeah,
everything is centered around commiseration, have a drink, need to cope, have a drink, celebrate, have a drink. You know, it's just like everything
yeah,
kind of
yeah,
comes back to having a drink. But I mean, that just makes me question it completely. Like, the government know how bad it is for us. Why is it normalized to that extent? That, you know, you can go and buy this hardcore drug from the age of 18. Not only that, but it's like, let's all go out and get poisoned together at the weekend, every weekend.
yeah.
Blows my mind.
it's real strange, isn't it? If you said to your mum, like, we're all going to go out this weekend and start cutting, you'd be like, what? Why would you? What benefit have you got doing that? Like, it makes you
Well, it
feel
makes us all feel, yeah.
better. No, hold on, no, that's not an acceptable thing. But somehow you're like, I'm going down the pub. Oh, wait, I'll get my coat. Like, no
Yeah.
one's batting an eyelid.
Or even
And
sniffing gas, like, oh no, let's just do a bit of solvent abuse. Like.
the solvent abuse, that is one thing that's always like, what are we doing? Like, how down does a person have to be like, I'll try that?
No, you're doing it for a
It
kick,
breaks
ain't you?
my
The same
heart.
way as you. No, but you know, the same way as with alcohol, it's like if you talk to people, well, why'd you drink? Oh, because I want to feel something. Well, why'd you do solvents? It's because you want to feel something. And that's what I mean. It's like one's normalized and acceptable, and the other one is not. But essentially, they're
Yeah.
both poisoning your brain to cause something.
It's just these aspects of like sniffing glue, these things that are like, they're clearly made for things that aren't. Do you know what I mean? Like, I grew up with alcohol being normalized. It was never like a question of like, that's not for that. And then you see people use it like solvents, glues, and it's like, how do you break that first step of being like, this will be okay?
Yeah.
But just, it shows the deep trauma that people go through, and how, this idea of free will, just have more willpower. Like, what are you on about, man?
No, exactly.
What about
People
that?
don't.
People are broken and they need help.
Yeah, they're not choosing. They're not choosing to go down this path. So Mark says he doesn't drink. And being around drunk people when I've never experienced that is so much more anxiety inducing for me. I totally agree that. I mean, obviously I have had a life of drinking, so I didn't notice it. But then that first festival that I went to last year, everyone just seemed so unpredictable, and that's
Yeah.
what I really didn't like. These huge adults like were waving around in front of me, and I'm like dodging them, thinking, "Oh my god, he's going to fall on me! He's going to fall on me! He's going to crush me! He's going to break my arm!" Like, and then, or you're watching conversations get nasty, and people start to kind of get aggressive with each other, and it's always a misunderstanding. That person said this, that person misheard it, and come back at them. So that person's reacted to them, not realizing that that person's misheard them, and it gets out of control so quickly. And as a sober person, you're like, oh my god, this is so dangerous. Whereas when I was drinking, all of this was happening, and I was like unaware or forgot about it, or
Oblivious,
much
right?
easier. Yeah,
You're
much
probably
easier to
involved
let go.
in
Yeah,
the chaos. It's
yeah.
like,
Or skipping off and not bothered, detached from it, because I was like, oh
yeah.
well, that's. Whereas when you're sober, you're like, oh my god, it's really hard.
So how many people actually drink because they're not enjoying themselves until they have a drink? Because there's some people that feel they need that drink to maybe be more sociable.
Yeah.
So are you really just in an environment that isn't comfortable without drinking, that you feel you also need to, like, we're encouraging this negative cycle when, like, if the first person in the room didn't drink, no one would need to drink, right? But it's almost
Yeah.
like, well, I want to be able to write off the things that I do as while I was
Yeah.
drunk. I want to be able to do a karaoke and no one judges me like I was actually trying. Like, it's this
Yeah.
idea of like, I can blame it on like
The
liberty.
alcohol.
Yeah, exactly. That one. The other one.
That is exactly one of the major reasons people drink, and one of the major reasons they don't want to leave it behind, because then they'll lose that crutch of, well, I want to behave inappropriately, but I don't do that without having alcohol as the reason.
Yeah,
Or
if you do that without alcohol, you're just a mess, right? Or so
yeah,
they perceive in their mind. But to me, if you're doing it with or without alcohol, if you're just a mess. Some of us are just a
we
mess. I can be a mess.
well, you learn what you actually want to do. That's the thing. Like, there's no more going down the pub just to sit there for me anymore. Before, drinking was the thing that I would do.
Yeah.
And now, like, I sat at the table a few weekends ago with all my family around the table, and everybody was drinking and chatting, and I was really enjoying it. I'd got a few alcohol-free beers, but I had a puzzle, and I was going at this puzzle the whole time whilst I was talking, because it just showed me that alcohol, it was the thing that was stimulating my brain before, because
Yeah.
the conversation alone wasn't enough. I was having to do something else to stimulate me, whereas they were all just happy drinking. So you just got to find these little hacks around it. And then the motivation for me is that I'm going to feel great in the morning, or if I decide I want to drive home that night, I can. And there's so many like positives to it.
I love that feeling, and I think that's, for me, a good way of, one of the tips that I would suggest of trying to navigate this festive season if you have addiction, and it's finding that alternative, that sober alternative. We used to go to the Flamingo AF parties.
There's a lot of
finding
sober raves
something
now.
to do when people are drinking that you can, this play alongside them, not doing necessarily the same thing. But then also, picking to do things with, say you've got a group of you that doesn't want to drink, you can go and do something together that doesn't require that. Good luck to people trying to recruit mates, because I know it's a difficult one. The idea of people giving up drink for the festive season or indefinitely, but if you can get that crew, go and do something. My thing that I like to do at New Year's, I'm sure I've said it loads of times, is go to Bradgate Park and watch all the fireworks at once, because it's free. And to get there and to get back, you can't drink. So it kind of just ends it off. You see all the fireworks, you kind of go to bed early-ish relative to other people that night. And you get to start the new year fresh. I think it's far better option.
And do you know, even when I was drinking, I was never a big fan of going out on New Year's Eve, because I just hated, I always had it in my head that because it was a fresh year, I wanted that evening to be perfect, and I wanted to wake up. I mean, I used to go to work on New Year's Day a lot of the time as well, so there was like this element of wanting to be hangover free. But like the idea of starting the year on that level was just like, nah. So even if I did drink, I never got leathered. And I remember a few times, even when I was a drinker, not drinking on New Year's Eve. Like there was one time I cleared out my whole bedroom and just sat sorting through boxes the whole evening. And it just felt like I've started the year as I mean to go on type thing.
I have no what you mean.
I remember changing.
Oh, I was gonna say, my best friend growing up, his birthday was Christmas Eve. And very rarely he just wasn't available on his birthday. We'd do something the night before. But one year, he was like, I am actually going to celebrate on my birthday. And I remember getting too drunk, the next day being Christmas. I remember thinking, I'm never doing this again. Like,
oh God.
And it's just a nice time and everyone's like enjoying themselves. And you're that one that's just like,
I had a Christmas like that I ruined.
It makes me sad, man. Like people look forward to that day and then you're just attached to it, like hanging out your ass. Like makes me feel bad.
No, I hear you. And that, I do think there's an element to be aware of, that if you're going sober, you're going to have to process all of your mistakes and anxieties from your whole life. But it's kind of like you go through it and then you'll come out the other side. But I don't know, it's a bit of and I think that's what keeps people stuck in the loop, because in the short term they're trying to run from something, but in the long term you've stacked up so much stuff that you've not even thought about, and then it's like when you start to go sober, you start to really kind of, you'll remember this and think, oh my God, I feel so bad about that, and then you'll remember that time and this time and that time, and it's like it comes at the most random moments as well. You'll suddenly remember something and think, oh my God, that was actually really horrible.
Your guards are down, right? You don't have that coping mechanism that you'd usually use against that thing to be like, no, I'm all right, go away. You know, you're like, oh, I've got to face you. I don't think I'm okay. So
Mark said he went.
Oh, carry on.
He went to 8 countries during the trip. Everybody went to watch games. UK pubs had the best acting people. I hope that all made sense. I'm not really with it. Oh, bless him. So best behaved. The UK were the best behaved out of the 8 countries.
I am flabbergasted. How do you feel about that?
I am shocked, but purely because the headlines that they run, citizens in Spanish like holiday resorts say that England are this, that, and the other, and so it does make you wonder whether there's a little element of moral panic going into that, where it's like, let's shame the people, let's make and then all of those generations that don't perhaps drink the way certain people do are then looking down on them like, wow, you know, it's these people. I don't know, maybe there is an element of they've blown it up a little bit to make us feel like it's worse.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm even more amazed just because it was during football games, which can tend to be a little bit more. But at the same time, during football games is when I've seen the biggest community at pubs.
Yeah.
And there's different kinds of pubs, right? There's going to be the shady ones in the UK when you're like, you walk in and everyone's like, who's that? Don't recognize you.
Yeah.
And you suddenly like, I don't belong here. But there are plenty of places that will open you up, welcome you with open arms.
They will.
Especially the landlord or whatever, because you equal money. Like, let's
keep
you, make you a regular. Let's keep you here. I know my parents, if they go to a pub, they're talking to someone instantly. I just think it's like, it's how you approach it, don't it? I think I go in a pub like I have no intention of talking to anyone unless someone talks to me. But if you go looking for a conversation, I bet it's a friendly place to go.
I've always attracted people that talk to me. Like, everyone's always joked that, oh yeah, Lindsay attracts the weirdos. So it's like I can go in a place consciously thinking, oh, I can't be bothered to talk it to anyone tonight. I'm just going to talk to my friends, and get accosted straight away by whoever. But I can't help but respond in that really friendly. I end up having like pure like laughter and banter and stuff anyway. So
I do the same. You know, like the weirder the conversation, like as long as it's not small talk, I think we'll be fine.
Yeah.
If I'm left to like find people out and to try and have a conversation, I'm terrible. But I'm quite similar to you in that a honing beacon or whatever, literally for all the colourful people at that party are just like, I want to talk to her.
I love it. I love it though.
It's always very interesting. I get some great stories. Like, did you speak to that Barefoot Festival? That was mostly Barefoot Festival. Just me like, wow, another conversation I can't believe I'm having.
Oh, I love that. That's like the title of your biography. Another conversation I can't believe I'm having. And then you should just fill it with like random conversations that have shocked you over your life.
It's psychotherapist memoirs. I believe I'm having this conversation.
Oh, that is brilliant. I swear, that is something that like I've definitely, I don't know, it's quite a dry humor thing to say as well. It's like, oh wow, another conversation I can't believe I'm having. That's great.
The whole weekend, like I couldn't. I've said it loads of times. Like, I feel like the most normal person here.
Yeah,
it's never a good thing.
We were normalos.
Normalos. It reminds me of Gruffalo, but it makes me want to do that. Normalo.
A normalo.
Normalo.
Maybe. Oh my god, that should be the sign for normalos.
Normalo. Doesn't even make sense. It's a weirdo trying to be a normalo. Like, you don't get it then.
If
just be normal.
you know, like for future reference, then if we're at an event and someone's just being too normal, I'll just like, and you'll know.
They'll think we're calling them the devil or something, but
Lindsay stopped talking to a normalo. That an end? Actually, I was gonna say you don't want to be doing the Illuminati sign like.
That's my gang sign. What was that? I remember doing this at school, and then someone told me that's the blood sign, like Crips and Bloods, and I was like, "Oh, I don't mean to be doing that."
Is it?
Again, no affiliation. I do love red.
Yeah, no, we don't want to be accidentally communicating with things that we don't understand.
Did you just do that?
Yeah.
Ugh.
That hand I can just do it, but the other one I'd have to sit and do it.
I feel like my fingers are gonna break. Welcome to the podcast.
Hello. If you've just joined us, we're doing sign language.
They're not slipping. It's winter. Mark says Netherlands in brackets Amsterdam, worst acting people in pubs of all countries I was to. Do you know what? I've never been to an Amsterdam pub.
I have, but only right in the centre, like pretty much on the strip and stuff. It was all fine.
It was all fine.
I don't think there was many like actual Netherlanders in there. I think it was mainly tourists, so I can't say I could comment really.
Yeah, I've been to Holland a few times and I haven't met very many, what's the term? Dutch. Many Dutch
Netherlanders.
people.
Yeah, Dutch, that's it, yeah.
But the Dutch people that I know outside of the Netherlands are batshit crazy, but in the
Yeah,
best.
yeah. I was just thinking of two that I met on holiday, and I was thinking exactly the same, like they were nuts, but like nice nuts kind of thing. And then anytime I have been there on holiday, I just thought everybody was really quite chilled and quite funky, quite cool. I liked it. I would have moved there.
I agree. It looks like a nicer version of like I don't know. I think I'd prefer it to Venice. Venice seems very expensive.
Marx's red light district is where he experienced too. And do you know what? Thinking about it, the first time when I went with Lou years and years ago, talking about being that beacon of like normalos and weirdos, I think I was having that conversation as I was walking down the strip with Lou, saying like, you know, I always seem to attract the attention. Like somehow they always pick me out, and we were all bundled up because it was freezing cold. And this guy, as we were walking past one of the bars, and it was rowdy, there was football on, this guy jumped into our path in front of me and just stared at me, and he just went, "Just take it up the ass, love." And it was like, oh,
I was
sorry,
not
what?
expecting.
I wasn't expecting it either. I wish I'd kind of said something like, I don't know, kind of called him out on
What do
it,
you
but
say to that?
I was just so gobsmacked. I kind of like laughed and looked at the other people as though to be like, what? And then, you know, we just walked around him and kept going. I think he was so excited. He was on the red light district. He assumed every female was like his for the taking. Very strange. But I'd just literally been having this conversation about how I always get picked out. So it was like, ta-da, there you go.
That was quite the one, though. I mean, what a question. Like,
I
for
know.
you.
I know. What's it to you?
Like,
Bold.
yeah, whether I
Bold.
do or not has got nothing to do with you or whether it will happen with you. Like,
I
it's no
know, no.
correlation.
Yeah, that's the thing. For me, it was just like, you know, it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. There's no excuse for it anyway, but I'm wearing three pairs of trackies, one layered over another, and a big massive coat, a scarf, a hat. You can barely see me, and you're jumping out to ask me if I take it up the arse. Love.
Maybe you wanted to give you a job.
I know, yeah, maybe. Maybe I don't know what I should have said. I don't know if anyone can think of any comebacks just in case that happens to me again. I'd really appreciate it.
The thing about comebacks as a woman is like, do I make a comeback or do I risk getting attacked? And it's
I know.
in the
I think
moment,
that's
it's like, I just want to get away from this guy. And then you walk off and you're like, I could have said this, that, that. And then
yeah,
realistically, get away from him.
yeah.
Don't try and be
I
smart.
I actually started a piece of writing, but God knows where it is now, called Things Men Have Said to Me, and just
I
started
want to see that.
listing. Yeah, just started listing things like that. But because that's the thing, in one respect it's funny, but then on the other hand it's like it's not funny, you know. I don't know. It's like you don't want to be a killjoy and start banning everyone from saying everything, but sometimes you think, all right, mate.
Yeah, I think the humor is, again, it's a coping mechanism, right? It's a really good tool for processing something that's happened. Like, I don't want to take this on that's actually kind of
Yeah,
heavy, but if I can laugh this weasel off, like,
yeah.
it won't
So
settle on my brain and I won't sit there in fight or flight all night.
two more that I can think of off the top of my head. One was I walked into a pub once and this bloke went, you could have made an effort. And it was like, sorry, what? You know, when it's just like, I just didn't know how to respond, 'cause it's like, I just don't know why you're saying that to me. What do you mean I could have made an effort? Like, you mean that I'm not wearing like something that's got my boobs or my legs on show? Is what you mean?
Yeah, you could have brushed your teeth, but there we are. Like, what?
You could have kept your mouth shut. Your mum could have
Oh,
used contraception. But and then the other one, this guy spun round once and looked at me and went, "I would smash your back doors in," which again, it was just like, "Oh, hello, stranger. I have no idea who you are, and you've just announced that to the whole pub, because then everyone's staring at me as though I've done something. I was like, oh my God, get me out of here.
Yeah, I'm speechless.
These
We're in
are just a
public
few.
here. What are you doing?
I know, maybe that's the problem, is the places I was hanging out. I don't know.
UK pubs was this?
Yeah, UK pub life.
You know what? I can't think of many things that I'm basically whatever. I just ignore them. But I always remember this one time. This lad must have been 13, 14, and I was about 20 at the time. And I was just walking home, and he went past on his bike, looked at me, and just went, wet. Like, as if to say, that's what he'd done for me.
Oh,
And my
you've got
mouth,
a lot of disappointment.
I was just round the corner from my house. I remember walking into my house being like, I don't know how to feel about this. This is such a strange, like, why are you describing that? How are you just saying that to people? Also, you're just cycling past me and I'm really not in your age range. And you're like, yeah, you're into me. Not just into me.
Where?
I don't need to say it again. It baffled me. And I was like, forever, I've wanted to know, did that work for him once? Has it worked since? Has anyone else been greeted with this strange assumption?
Yeah, like, if he was young, he still had a lot to learn, but where had he learnt that from? That's what I want to know.
I don't know, but he needed to go and like park his BMX and then go into school, and it was like, what is happening?
This is the thing. This is without alcohol and drugs.
Exactly. They'll take the drugs later on when they realise that they remember that they said that to an actual human on the street, and then they have to deal with their own emotions.
And it doesn't work. They'll be like, I've been saying this for 6 years and I've still got no pussy.
Yeah, I wonder why. I wonder why. Temperature check.
Oh, God. I don't know.
Mark says he's sorry that happened to you, Linz.
Oh, thank you, mate. I mean, not as sorry as he was, no. Not as sorry as he was, but I didn't say, yeah, please. This is the thing. Some people are walking this earth just to remind us what would happen if we didn't evolve. That's what you got to remember.
100%. We've got Casey back in the chat as well.
Hey.
Hello, Casey, all the way from Canada.
You're just joining us as we're about to wrap up, Casey, unfortunately, but you can rewind the show and watch the fabulous things that we've mulled over this past hour.
We've done our best, haven't we? We've done our best in this festive season, but next week is the podcast that might be the most chaotic and funny. I think we've got some good memories, or at least the elves have got good memories to go through. I don't know. I'll be sad when it's over after Christmas. The elves will be sad when it's over.
The elves they'll just go back to North Pole until next year, and then they'll be back. It'll soon be here. That's what I'm learning.
Right? Yeah, a few blinks and it'll be like, oh, hey, Lynn's back
Christmas
to
again.
again.
Oh God! The scary thing is that is how it will be, because we've done this Christmas promo. We'll be able to be like, oh yeah, last year's Christmas promo, and it's going to make it really clear how quick that went.
To be fair, last week when we were talking about, was it last week? Seasonal depression and dealing with the winter and the cold and stuff with your mental health. And I was like, we did this theme this time last year. It was like, oh, we've done so much in between then. The fact that it's still a problem for so many people shows it doesn't matter how many years go by, right? Until it's fixed.
Exactly. It's about a year since we had our festive do at Cat's, and I slipped down yours and Cat's legs and about broke my kneecap, all in the name of funny content.
Video. That needs resharing, because that did very well as well. The macaroni.
Talking about things that need resharing, it's Friday the 13th tomorrow, people. So 13 is my lucky number, and it's a very powerful number. So don't fall for the don't fall for the talk. But yeah, so last Friday the 13th, 2 crows got into my house and caused havoc, and then sent me down a real. They sent me down a path of
Alright.
really. Yeah, like there's a crow behind you, Steph, behind you. But yeah, so it sent me down a real path of like witchy discovery and all the rest of it. It was great. So it's Friday the 13th again tomorrow, so I'm going to be resharing that video because it's so funny. But yesterday I was shopping in Morrison's with my service user.
Shout out
And
Morrison's with Morrison's.
yeah, and my service user had been saying that they wanted to buy some food for the crows outside, or magpies outside it might have been. And I was like, just kind of just going along a bit like, oh yeah, what do you want to get? And he's like, oh, I know what I'll get some bread. And I'm thinking, oh my God, we're going to be stood in the middle of Morrison's car park feeding the birds bread, or at least trying to lure them over, like, here, birdie, birdie, birdie. And but I'm like, whatever, I'll go with it. It's cool. And then he's gone and got the bread, put it in the trolley, and we're like walking around. And then he just went, Lindsay, do you think anybody else has seen that? And points up. And there's a crow, a real live massive crow on one of the aisle signs. It's like got alcohol, cheese, and on one of them it's just sat there and it's like staring at us. I was like,
waiting for you.
I was like, it's heard that you've got food for it and it wants it now. But I mean, he was obsessed with this crow. Like he would just kept going back to it, and then wherever we were in the shop, it was like following us. Like I filmed it on 3 different signs. It was constantly near us. I was like, that crow's for us. Like this is absolutely crazy. So I'm looking forward to what tomorrow might bring.
He's like, have you seen my missus? Because we had this bust up at your house and I ain't seen her since.
But yeah, watch this space.
We'll see what happens. Crow updates. I'm excited.
Crow dates.
One day you're just gonna be like, I have this crow that won't leave me alone, and it just sits on my shoulder.
I'll have a pet crow. I've upgraded from a budget.
That's very witchcraft. I love that.
Yeah, I'm excited for the day that I have a crow.
Very occult. That's pretty cool.
With a crow on my shoulder.
Like, go and give curses. Bring me back money. I think that's how it works.
Anyone watching this video, please hit the like button on the video, and if you're not subscribed to us, please subscribe to the channel
and hit that little bell so you get notifications for when we do go live every Thursday, 7 p.m. Although this will be changing in the new year, we'll let you know more.
Next week will be our last one for 2024, and then I think, just off the top of my head, but we'll confirm it next week, our first one back will be Thursday the 4th, and then we can kind of explain everything that we're going to do.
Thursday the 4th, that sounds like, just it being the 4th day of the week and the 4th.
Oh no, I think it might be Thursday the 2nd, sorry.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh. Either way, did you say, before I leave, today's date, 12/12/24?
Oh, nice.
And it's like the last time that can happen, I suppose.
Yeah, that is nice, because I got really excited the other week because I wrote 2/12/24 and I went, oh my God, look, 2 times 12 is 24. And the kids were just like, I was like, okay, let's carry on with the lesson.
Fine.
Don't you think that's amazing? But I remember it being 12/12/12 and everyone saying,
this is the last time it'll happen.
Yeah. Oh. Exciting. Well,
I hope we've helped. If you have any more questions, feel free to message us or put them in the chat and we'll get back to you. In the meantime, this is Lindsay.
I think Mum said we had it right before. This is Steph, so we were meant, I don't know. Anyway.
Probably won't work out.
She said it was opposite. When we were going, oh no, turn it round. Oh no, for the high five. Every time we thought we'd got it right, we'd got it wrong. And every time we thought we'd got it wrong, we'd got it right.
Right, okay. I can see us. It is literally like that. Yeah.
Hey. Sorry, I interrupted you finally. What's that say? So you'll be back on the 2nd of January. We'll be back next Thursday. We'll be here next Thursday, 7 o'clock, and then we'll be back that one as well.
for Elf Takeover.
Yes.
But yeah,
Sorry.
okay.
Third time looking.
This is Lindsay.
And this is Steph.
We're a different human design.
And this was a different podcast. Good night, people.
Good night, people. Night. See you, Lynn. See you tomorrow.
See you. Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye.